Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to each one of you from the Center for Science and Environment. I'm Kiran Pandey, the course director. And I'm delighted to see everyone over here and it's interesting to see people from across the country and from other countries as well. So as of now, we have people joining us from at least 23 states of India and at least 10 other countries. It's really pleasure to be with all of you in this first live workshop. And let me just first brief you on what were the key takeaway from the first live workshop. This is the first session. We plan to have 3 such sessions. And today what we're going to cover is, we'll be talking about 3 basic aspects. Number one, we'll talk about the basis of QGIS, the software that we are going to cover in this workshop, in this training. What is QGIS? How to install this software, and thirdly, how to use this to source information and extract data from there. Okay, those are the three key takeaways that you will have by end of today's live session. And there's one more request: kindly mute yourself. If you want to have want to ask anything, have any question, please put on the chat box. Okay, we'll take all the questions at the end of the session. In case you're unable to hold yourself, you want to really ask any question, just post them on the chat. We'll take them if required. So please don't hesitate, and let's make it participatory. And again, one more message that in this group, we have people from diverse backgrounds. So there are people who are beginners. We also have people who are experienced. So just be patient. Okay, at times you'll feel it is too basic a session. Okay, but just be patient because we have people from different backgrounds and you have to address everybody's requirements. And that's it for the day. And I'll request my colleague Pulaha to take over the session. Pulaha is a senior data journalist working with Down to Earth magazine of our organization. This magazine is almost 40 years old, and data is very centric to the work that we do in this organization. So, Pulaha, over to you now. Okay. And welcome to you, everyone, once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you to all the participants for coming for the first live session on GIS. Just before we get started, can someone just write it in the chat, or I would actually request everyone, how many of the participants here have actually used QGIS before, or have heard about QGIS, or at least have it installed in their system, even if they haven't used it, at least have it installed. It's totally fine. I just want to see like where we stand right now, like where does the class stand? So you can, so let's see, never used it. Okay, not used. Installed, not used. A lot of people have it installed, I see. That's a good start. Okay. Okay. So we have a mixed bag here of a lot of people who have used it, a lot of people who have it in their system. So for people who have it installed in their system, I will just say have some patience, because there are a lot of people who have never used it or have never installed it. And that's always a big fight just to get it started on your system. So I'll just ask them to just have some patience while we go through the installation steps as well, because we wanted to show this installation steps because we have come to realize that a lot of people have problems facing that. So, but before we get started, there's going to be a general introduction to GIS, and I'll just share my screen now. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. Let me just... Yeah, so this is Introduction to QGIS. I am Pulaha Roy. I'm a data correspondent at Down to Earth magazine. So what is GIS? GIS, according to the USGS, the United States Geological Survey, a Geographic Information System, that is the full name of GIS. A Geographic Information System is a computer system that analyzes and displays geographically referenced information. So what do they mean by that? By geographically referenced information, that's basically, if the data has any coordinate, if any coordinate information like an XY or latitude, longitude, that's the kind of information that GIS renders. So that's what they mean by geographically referenced information. Information about space, about like the space we cohabit. It can be a state, it can be a country, it can be ocean, as long as it's related to a region on Earth. In fact, not just Earth, like other planets as well. That's what GIS does. It renders geographically referenced information. Moving on to the next slide, and how can we use GIS for real life troubleshooting? Very important questions like why are we here then? How is GIS helping us basically in real life? I mean, you don't need to be a geographer just to use GIS. That's what I'm trying to say. So this map that you see, this is one of the first instances of where GIS came into being, like where GIS was used to troubleshoot. So this map is the map of Exeter. It's in 1832, and it's a region in England. This map was done by Thomas Shapter, who was an epidemiologist, and what he tried to do was this map that you see, those red buildings that you see, he tried to map how tuberculosis was breaking out. Okay, so what he did was all these red marks that you see, he tried to see if there is any pattern. If there is any pattern, and all these red marks that you see are the ones where all these houses had cases of cholera. And cholera back then was a huge menace to the society. Okay, people didn't know like what led to outbreaks of cholera, and it was very, very frequent. Okay, so this was one of the first instances of where GIS was used. So this map in itself didn't lead to the discovery of like what's going on with cholera or how the outbreak is happening. But what it led to was more research. And after, I think around 1850 was the first time people realized like cholera is happening because of contaminated water. And there's a map for that as well. But I didn't show that because I wanted to use this because this is the first instance of like where GIS was actually used. Mapping was actually used to figure out what the problem was. And this is way back. This is in 1832. So you can see like like there's so many people coming from so many backgrounds. You don't have to be a geographer. Like this map was done by an epidemiologist, someone who is into checking diseases. So so GIS can be used in health, GIS can be used in geography, GIS can be used for research. I am a journalist myself, so I do a lot of stories based on GIS data. So these are the things that GIS can be used. Moving on to the next slide, and how do we use GIS technology? And it's QGIS. So this is the symbol of QGIS, and we'll get into that. But for the time being, and what all can be done by using QGIS. So these are some of the maps that we have done. This one is something that we'll also see during the live session. We'll get into that. But this is one of the first stories that I did based on data that I rendered on QGIS. This shows how the states would be warming at, Indian states would be warming at when the mean temperature deviation of the world is going to be 1.5 degree. Like it will deviate at 1.5 degree from the 1850 to 1900 average. I won't get into the details of it. I'll tell you later about this map because we'll actually be looking into this data. This map is about Aravalli. As you know, Aravalli is the oldest mountain range in the world. And we tried to map out like which places will be exposed to future mining operations. There was a big news in December, so we tried to cover that. Uh, Going on to the next slide, some more. And this map shows how the world is going to look like 250 million years from now. These are some of the fun things that you can do. It doesn't have to be always be very heavy duty topic that we are researching. There are a lot of fun things that you can do with QGIS. This is one of them, and this is the last one. This is a map of a municipality called Joshimath municipality. It's one of the hilly towns of Himalaya in, I think it's in Uttarakhand if I'm not wrong. And we tried to map out like which places in the municipality is sinking. So these are some of the things that you can get going with QGIS if you can render data on QGIS. And one big reason why QGIS, because there are other softwares as well. So why focus on QGIS? For the simple reason that it's open source. And what I mean by open source is like, firstly, it's free. Everything is free. You don't need to pay for anything, unlike say ArcGIS, or there are other softwares like Tableau and all. So this is like your one-stop shop for any spatial querying or anything like that, QGIS. And also the fact that like what makes open source so powerful is the fact that the code that is used to make QGIS, it's out there in the public domain. So if you have a great idea where you can like make QGIS better for others, you can just go and tweak it yourself. But we'll come back to that later. For the timing, we'll just focus on the basics. And the thing that we are going to do here is, just, yeah. So the first thing we are going to do is, let me just share this link here. We're going to install QGIS in our system, and I'll share it in the chat. So I'm sharing it in the chat. Please go ahead and click in the chat itself, and it'll take you to the QGIS downloader page. So once the page opens, qgis.org/download, that's the link. You can just go and skip it and go to download directly. And here now it depends, just have some patience. I'm going to walk you through what to do. So now if you are in your Mac, if you're using a Mac or a Mac OS Apple desktop, okay, so it'll show as default, like it'll come as default as Mac OS or Apple desktop. So just go for this long-term release, please. Long-term release 3.44. That is the one that we are using. For Windows specifically, for Windows, what I'll suggest is like you click here, and here is the Windows Desktop OS. Click on that, and here the long-term release. Download LTR 3.44. I'll just write it in the chat. Download LTR 3.44. Just go ahead and just don't click on anything else. Please don't click on that get OS OW installer. That's not needed. All you need is, if you're a Mac, if you're a Windows user, the Windows option is here. You can just click on that, and the first option would be Windows. And then you come here to the long-term release. Please go ahead and install that. And if you're a Mac user, again, just come to Mac and just download LTR 3.44. I hope these are the two systems that we are using. If any other participant has any other system that they are using on, please let me know. But these two are the primary systems that we normally use. So Topan is asking, I have 4.2 version. Will there be any issue? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. That's fine. Like whatever version you are using. But if you're using it for the first time, if you're using it for the first time, I would suggest please just follow along the version that we are using, which is LTR 3.444. Whether it be Mac or whether it be Windows, it doesn't matter. Please go ahead and just download the LTR 3.44 version. If anyone is having any issues with the installation, just let us know. We'll try to help you out. A lot of times what happens is, like, once you have installed it and on your system, first you have downloaded the file, and then you install it on your system. A lot of times what happens is you need to give permission to your system to make it work, to get it started. So that might be an issue. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
happens if somebody has a problem downloading the software? In the past sessions we had those problems. So what do you advise in that case?
Sorry, ma'am, can you just come again once more?
If someone is unable to download the software right now, people have issues at times.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest in that case?
So I'll just suggest just follow along, because all this is recorded and everything will be given to you. So just follow along. So it's not a big, I mean, like so what I'll do is, like, if you still have any issues installing it on your system, I'll walk you through it myself. So, but that'll be after the class. So you can just mail me and I'll try to help you out with the installation itself. But just for the timing, if you have any option, if you have any problem, mostly it's because of the internet connection. A lot of times what happens is it takes too long for you to download. It shouldn't, because it'll take you around at max 5 to 10 minutes. But if it takes more than that, maybe there's some internet lag because of that. So in that case, just follow along for the timing, and this whole session is getting recorded, so not an issue at all.
Deepa has a question. Just see in the chat, Pula. He's asking something.
Is
Just
it Q field for QGIS which is to be downloaded? Deepa, what system are you using? Can you please write it in the chat?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah, please go
Yes,
ahead.
I am Deepak. Actually, I am Deepak, not Deepa.
Okay, yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's showing Deepa, so my bad. Yeah.
Actually, I've downloaded from Play Store. I'm downloading from the Play Store. So Play Store, it is showing Q field for QGIS.
Could you please just go to this? I'm not very familiar with how the Play Store thing works. So I'll just share the link once more, sir.
Okay.
Can you please download it from here? Also, like, you are using it on your laptop or
Laptop.
computer system, right? Not on your phone.
No, right now I am simultaneously using the phone also.
Okay.
Uh,
I don't know if
uh,
it works on the phone. I'm not very familiar, sir. I thought like it's be a computer system or a laptop. So
okay.
just like you switch to a computer system.
Okay. I will switch to
Yeah.
computer system. Okay.
Yeah, and just follow along, because if you're using a Mac, then you make sure so you switch to Windows here, like Windows desktop here. Please don't go ahead and just download the Mac version if you're using a Windows version. So just make sure of that.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll wait for another 5 6 minutes before we get started. Before we start the system itself. In the meantime, is anyone else having any issues? Zareen is saying I have 3.4. It's fine. It's fine. As long as you can follow it, it's absolutely fine. So for people who are getting this still downloading, maybe the issue is with the internet speed itself. Okay. So in that case, like once the installation is done, just follow along. The whole session is getting recorded. So, and you'll get the playback as well of this recorded session. So shouldn't be an issue. Also, once it gets downloaded, just start it in your system. And when you try to start it on your system, you might get some permission. You might have to give some permission. Have a 4 point. Will there be any significant? No, I don't think so, Anush. It's fine. It's fine. The first time you try to start it on your system, you might need some permission validation from your end. So just give the permission to your system that they can use QGIS. Yeah, Kriti, I think it's the internet problem. So for the time being, just follow along. This whole session is getting recorded. Yeah, so Sunpreet, installation done. So can you just like start it in your system? Just keep it ready, keep it going. Yeah. Anyone else having any issues? Has anyone encountered this permission thing? So Arani is asking, is this application free of cost? It's absolutely free of cost. It's an open source thing. Great. Dipali has started it.
Good to see people have been
See,
successful.
yeah. Sangeeta, can you just like start it in your system? I would request you to just keep it on, get this thing started on your system. Okay, great, great.
Sangeeta, Sanpreet,
So
they
we'll
all
wait
managed
for
to
a couple of
download this.
more minutes before we get started. We'll jump. Okay, so let me just start with it. Okay, and the first thing you'll notice is I'm opening this in QGIS. Okay, just if you're in Windows, you can just go to Windows and just see where you have installed QGIS. You can start from there. If you're on Mac, one good way of doing is just search it on here and you'll get it. Probably just search it QGIS.
A message, people are having problems getting downloading the software. In that case, they can just
Yeah, so you have to
Yeah.
yeah. So if anyone is using their office laptop, they need to speak to the admin for them to give the permission to start a software.
Okay, so let's just follow Pulaha and we can
Yeah, so just follow along. Yeah, this is how you started. Yes, I think who was it? Yeah, Sujata had 3.1 looks. Yeah, great. So this is 3.44 and this is how it looks. I'll just close this. Uh, and I'll also remove this in case people are having issues with, I think, yeah. So this is how it'll look at the start. I've removed everything else. In case these left panels are missing, I'll also show you. So this is how it looks. Is anyone having a very different look to mine? I'll close this. Anyone? Okay. So the first thing is what we are going to do is we need couple of toolbars and panel bars and all those things. So the way you do it is the first thing we need here is a layers panel. Okay, a browser panel, sorry. And I'll tell you and I'll walk you through each step like what it means. So the first thing you do is come to view here. So you have QGIS, you have project, you have edit, you have view. So come to view, click on view. Okay, and then you have the panels. Okay, the panels here, and you click on browser panel. Okay, here's the first one. This is, and I'll tell you why we need this. We could have gone for other panels and all, but why we need this. So first is the browser panel. Again, we come to view, we come to panels, and here's the layers panel. Okay. Now, why did we go for these two, the browser and the layers? Because these two panels you'll be using the most when you're using QGIS. Okay, this is the bread and butter. Every time you start anything, the first thing you're going to do is browser. Browser is whatever files you have downloaded, and if you want to render it now on QGIS, which is this is the artboard region, if you might call this the display or the artboard region. So whatever you want to render here in this area, you're going to have to look it somewhere in your system. Okay. And in order to do that, now we need some kind of map. Okay. So we need some country boundaries or something like that. And a very good place to get started is, and I'll share it in the link, is search for natural earth. I'll share the link, but in the meantime, also it's a very good practice. Just search it yourself, called natural earth. Now, once you open this, I'll just share the link in some time. I'll just wanted to walk you through this. So what is this? So this natural earth, I'll come to home. So natural earth is this this repository by the North American Cartographic Information Society. Okay. So they have some preloaded country boundaries that you can do. Not just country boundaries, there are a lot of things that you can, you can go through it during your own time when you're looking at this. But it's a great way to get started. Okay, if you're looking for maps, just to get started, like if you're looking for boundaries of countries and all, there are other places there are other places as well where you can get boundaries. But the natural earth is a go-to for all the cartographers. I use it extensively. So what I'll do is I'll go to downloads and I'll go to cultural and then now I'll share the link. I'll share the link now in case so here's the link for people in case they have
Uh,
missed out. Yeah, hi.
Actually, I was not able to download those layers in the starting that you mentioned now.
Okay.
Can you just, once you are done explaining this, would
Yeah,
you
sure.
explain that again? Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, no issues. So once you're in this page, like the link that I have shared, once you click on that, it'll open up this page. And here you have the 110M cultural vectors. What this 1 is to 10M is, it's basically the resolution at which these boundaries have been, you have been traced. Okay. So the more coarser, so if you see a 1 is to 50, so the boundaries will be a little more coarser compared to 1 is to 10. That is the whole meaning of this. So every time you see this, it's basically how fine the boundaries are. That's the basic meaning of it. Now you can just go ahead and download this. But what I'll suggest is, say like if you're from India, so it will download from India's point of view. What they mean by India's point of view is that it'll have the boundaries for Kashmir, because that LOC region is always very disputed. So if you download it from India's point of view, it'll have the boundaries for for Kashmir. And the same goes for other countries as well. Like it has Bangladesh point of view, Brazil point of view. So just follow along accordingly, like whichever country's point of view you want to download from. We will be focused on this, download countries from India's point of view. If you now click on that, and it'll download a file and it's called any10m admin 0 countries. Forget that, you can ignore the 5. I had downloaded the files earlier, so it's the 5th version of it. That's about it. And now I'll get back to QGIS. And Zarina was asking me how I got the browser and the layers. So for people who didn't follow along, if you come to come to view, come to view, panels, and here you check the browser panel first, and then you check the layers panel. Okay. So that's how you do it. There's another one that I'm going to show you, and that's very handy. And now you come to toolbar. So there's a slight difference between panels and toolbars, because toolbars are where tools are kept. Okay. And panels are where like you can bring stuff to, say, like from the browser to the layer. So that's the main distinction between what's a panel and what's a toolbar in QGIS. So in the toolbar,
Even after clicking that, nothing is coming on the layer side. None of these are coming on the layer side.
So if you come to panels, if you check on this, say if I check on this layer ordering, so something comes up here, right? So just try once, or you can share a screenshot.
Yeah, sure.
Anyone else having this issue? Okay. In the meantime, I'll just show you, there's another very handy toolbar that we use a lot. So let's just keep it checked. So that is manage layers toolbar, and it'll come on the left. Okay. So if you check on this manage layers toolbar, it'll come on the left, and I'll walk you through when we need, like when we're going to use this. Zaina, can you just share the screenshot?
Yeah, I tried, but because I think my system doesn't allow, because I'm doing it from my office laptop, it doesn't allow me to share the screenshot. So
So
I
that
am able to have these, the one you have just entered now, these vector toolbar mein se, but these volumes and all these, I'm not able to
so you're
have
having
that.
issues with the browser.
Not the browser. I think I'm not getting this volume, favorites, special, ये
Yeah, because
बाकी सब आ रहा
they
है.
have to give permission to, access these, folders. So that might be an issue with your system.
Not really, because we do have permission to use GIS in our system. It has been installed by the
But
team
just
itself.
follow along for the time being, and you can send me a screenshot. I'll share my mail ID with everyone with the class. So, okay. So now that we have downloaded the file, and by the way, we were here and we have downloaded this file, download countries from India perspective, okay, or whatever file you have whatever file you have downloaded. And now come to home, okay? This is where everything stays, like in your system. And I had downloaded it in downloads, and I'll come to downloads. I think it's admin zero. Yeah, this one, admin zero countries. And one good thing is, for download, just if you can unzip it first, okay? You can unzip it and see here it shows. And you can just refresh it just in case if it doesn't show the current state, you can just refresh it and then it will show this. And this button is very handy. It's a refresh button. So it'll show the current state of your volume. And here, if you just expand this,
Can you please show it again?
uh, which one, sir?
This step, where to go and add the
Okay, I'll just show
data.
it once more. Yeah. So firstly, what we did was we unzipped this file. We unzipped this file, okay? So if you just unzip this file, this folder will come. Okay, so you have to unzip the file. And once you have unzipped it, you come to the browser panel. Here's the browser panel. You come to home. And every time you see this triangle in QGIS, that means you have to click on it for it to expand. Okay, so click on that, come to home. And now you navigate to the folder where you have downloaded this file. Okay, the NE10M admin. So my is downloaded here, downloads. And I'll just scroll down. And this is the one because my is the 5th version. I downloaded it earlier as well. So this one, and here you see there's this one file, the HTML. You can ignore that. And this is the one, okay? So what you do is just drag and drop it here like this, okay? And I'll show it once more. I'll remove this, and if you have
From
to,
that natural earth, we have to download India POV, correct?
yeah. So if you want to delete any layer, you can also use this one. I'll show it once more. You navigate from, you come to home, and then you navigate to which folder you have saved it. My is in the downloads, and you come here, and you come here. This is the file, and here you have this file, and you just drag and drop it from the browser to the layer span. Okay. Anyone having any issues before we move ahead?
We have downloaded that, but still like don't know like how to add in this GIS. Not able to do that. Have that India POV from natural earth, but
Yeah.
not able to add here on this panel.
Yeah,
This
because it doesn't show all the file, it doesn't show all the folders, right?
yeah, because I have
Yes, I
added
don't see the download folder.
Sorry?
I don't see the download folder in that
Yeah,
list.
so sir, if you're using the Windows, then it'll be saved in so wherever you're saving the file, okay. So in which folder did you save it? So you have to navigate to that folder. It's usually in home. Home is where all the folders are listed. And from there, you navigate to wherever you have saved the file. Okay, in case if anyone's having, like Zarina is having that issue where she cannot figure out where, another way of, getting this file is.
No, I think now it's showing to me, but when I clicked onto layer button, when I checked it, it was not showing. Now when I've unchecked it, now it's showing.
It's very strange.
Yeah, I don't know. And that too, downloads is not showing
Yeah,
in
so
the
you have
entire
to
file.
so you have to navigate it to where it doesn't have to be downloads per se. You can you might have some other folder, another drive where you might have saved it. It will be a
No,
C.
I've saved it in downloads itself. I know that, but
So you just walk to, I think it's any 10 any, so this will be the name of the file, any 10m admin 0 countries India. If you have saved it in downloads and if you see this home and then download, it will be there. And you can refresh it just in case it's not showing the current state. So it will be there. Anyway, just moving along. Zareen, just follow along for the time being. It's not an issue. This whole thing is going to be recorded. So you can just, after the session is over, you can just do it yourself. You can practice it yourself. Another way of, rendering GIS data. And in this case, by the way, if you see, if I come here and if you see there's an extension called .shp. Okay. So this is one of the GIS data formats that you will that you will come across a lot, .shp. So next time, if you're using QGIS and if you come across this extension called .shp, that means you can open it in QGIS. How many in the class are aware of what is a .shp? Has anyone come across this file extension before? Let's see. Shape file, yes, no, yes, yes, no, yes. Okay. So again, a mixed bag. Some people have come across this, some people haven't come across this. So I'll tell you what's a shape file. Shape file is one of the many GIS data format that QGIS understands. If I have to just explain it in very simple terms. And a shape file is nothing but a vector data format. And what is a vector data format? I'll tell you. So there are other data formats as well, but there are two widely used data formats that we use for GIS. One is vector and the other one is raster. The raster one, we are going to look into it, like what is a raster data format in our third live session. Right now, we are dealing with vector data formats, and what are vector data formats basically? So a vector data format is nothing but, see, the more you zoom in, your data won't pixelate. So what I mean by that is, if you just open a PNG file, any PNG file, it can be a picture of your profile picture or anything, a PNG, a .jpeg file, the more you zoom in, it starts pixelating, it gets distorted. But a vector data format, no matter how much you zoom in, it's not going to pixelate. Okay. See, it's never going to pixelate. That's what I mean by a vector data format. You'll get a better understanding once you start working on raster. It'll be more clear. There'll be more clarity. But for the time being, just keep in mind a .shp file is a vector data format. Okay. And another way of calling .shp or rendering a .shp extension is, let me just delete this. Come here, the manage layers toolbar, and this is why the manage layers toolbar is very handy in case something is not working here, or if you're not getting all these options. What you can do is just come here. The first option, add vector layer. Okay, add vector layer, click on that. Okay, and the vector data set opens, and here are the three dots. And every time you see these three dots, it means it's calling for you to browse the data, where the data is stored. So I'll just click on that. Okay, and I'll come to downloads, and this is the first option I get. And these are the other formats as well. And these are all related. Okay, so the SHP has the values from .shx, .prg, .dbf, and these are just other variables of how data is stored. The SHP is the final the final file on where everything comes into comes into existence. But whenever you are using, I won't get into the details of what these files are. I would rather, it's a very good practice, and it'll show like how curious you are if you want to see like what is a .prg extension, what is a dbf extension. But do keep in mind, for you to start an SHP, it also needs to have these files: the SHX, the PRG, the dbf. Okay, so these are the 4 files that you need for shapefile, including the shapefile. That makes it 4. These are the 4 files that you need for the shapefile to work. So the next time you are sharing the shapefile with anyone, with a colleague or anyone, do keep in mind you also have to attach these files. Otherwise, the SHP won't work. These are all interdependent. All these files are interdependent. For the timing, we are focused on SHP because that is the file that we need. So click on that and just click on open. Okay. And then click on add. And add. And by the way, if the default color is different, it's absolutely fine. It depends on the system. QGIS just randomly chooses default colors.
Well, I have just one doubt on behalf of participants.
Yes.
So when I'm downloading the file, the shape file that we have just downloaded, so those 3 different formats come automatically with the shape file that we have downloaded.
So if you come to the original shapefile, and I should have shown this, like the contents of the file. This is
Okay.
the file, this is the folder, right? Now, if you open this, see it's already there. You
Right.
don't have to do anything else. It comes with automatically comes. So
Okay.
for an SHP to work, it will always have an SHX. It will always have a PRG, which is I think it's projection, and it's have a DBF. I'm forgetting the exact full form of DBF and SHX. But it'll all come with this, with a shapefile. Otherwise, the shapefile will never work in isolation.
Okay.
An
Thank you.
SHP file never works in isolation. Okay.
Okay.
The final thing that we use is SHP, but this SHX, this PRJ, this DBF, they are all interconnected. They are all interdependent. More than interconnected, they are all interdependent. Okay. If that answers your question.
So, Pulha, something happened with me. I am able to extract this on my, I can see this now, this image, but for me, it doesn't show as it shows as zip, not as SHX, DBF, or PRJ.
You have to unzip it. You have to unzip it.
Ah,
Can you
okay,
unzip the can you just unzip the folder?
okay, okay.
Yeah. Now you can see the contents of the folder.
So
Yes.
after unzipping it, then again I have to go to that vector wala, and again I have to add all these.
Either you can do the vector or you can do the browser. I showed you browser because that's the easier way. You can just drag and drop. Otherwise, this is the official way, by the way. The vector thing is the official way if you're pulling in, but this is just a shortcut. Okay.
Okay.
So that's how. And I'll show you a fun thing that you can do with QGIS as well. And what you can do is, if you just come here, this is the coordinate. This is and you can see there are a lot of other things, like here's the coordinate, here's the scale, at what scale it's rendering right now. If you want to magnify, just click on that, it'll magnify at 150. If you want to rotate, you can just rotate like this. So these are the things.
So Kula, just one more clarification. So
Yeah.
that means now, so there are 2 panels, browser and layer panel. But
Yeah.
now you're going to work on the layers panel because you're going to process the data that you have just downloaded.
Yeah,
Am I right?
yeah. So the browser panel is for you to look up the data,
Yes.
where the data is stored,
Yeah.
and then you bring to the layers panel. The layers panel is basically, if you have multiple layers, you can stack it one on top of the other. And I'll show you why it's called a layers panel. You'll also understand why it's called a layers panel. So for the time being, one fun thing that I wanted to show you is, here's the coordinate, and I'll just type world. Sorry, not in caps, my bad. Hope it should work. World. I'll just automatically give you a world map. In case you
Interesting.
don't want to get started, if you don't have any files or you don't want to download anything, you just want to check, this is a very quick way of doing it. All you have to do is world, and another layer comes up. And you see, that's why it's called a layers panel. Now,
Yeah.
3 layers, okay? We have 3 layers, one stacked on top of the other. And the way you can move these layers is, I'll just move one more. I'll just remove one entry. Now I'll just select this and bring it down, and this one comes on top.
Okay.
So that's why it's called a layers panel. Okay.
And in layman's language, it's a processing panel where you do the processing.
Yeah, you just bring it like here. So here's one layer, one data layer. So think of it as you have multiple data layers. Okay. And you want to stack it on one on top of the other. That's where the layers panel come in. So I'll delete the world map and I'll just focus on this Any10M. And now we need some data. Okay. We need some data. And by the way, you can just like expand it. And if you want to minimize the browser and the layers panel, you can just click on the edge and the cursor will turn something like this. And you can just move it like this. And before we get started, before we get into the data itself, some of the things that I want to show you is, say I want to, move this file. So what I'll do is click on your space bar, and the moment you click the space bar, see this hand turns. Sorry. Click on the A and then you can move it like this and move it with your mouse. First you hit the space bar, the cursor changes to a hand and you can move this. And if you have to zoom in, all you have to do is zoom in, but I want to zoom in around India, or I want to zoom in America. Okay. So what you have to do is again, space bar, and you want to move, space bar, move, space bar, move, space bar, move to India. Okay, so these are some of the housekeeping things that I wanted to just tell you before we get started with the data itself, so that you guys don't have any issues. So this is what you do. These two are the things that you do when you're working in this display panel. Okay, and if I want to zoom out, just zoom out via your mouse. And if you want to center it here, and then again zoom in, zoom out.
Just repeat it, Pulal, for the sake of the participants. Just repeat it once again. Yeah.
So if I want to move the map to a particular position, space bar, your cursor changes, and then I move. Okay. So if I zoom in, say I zoom in, and now it's Madagascar, right? This is Madagascar. Now, if I want to move to, say, China, okay. So what I do is space bar, move, space bar, move, till I have China in focus. Okay. And if I have to zoom out, all I have to do is just use the mouse to zoom out. Did everyone follow along? The participants were able to follow along? Yes. Okay. So now we'll move to the data itself. So now we need some data, okay? Because end of the day, we need to tell a story. What is the story? And for that, we need some data. So the data that we are going to use is...
Pula, I have one question. How did you add that upper ones are fine, but I am not able to add this, the one you have after, like, this layer wala section, this part.
The layer...
I mean, the second
layers
row
panel.
kind of thing that you have created here. Yeah.
The layers panel? This one?
Yeah, this.
Yeah, so all you have to do is view, panels, layers. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So the data that we need is the data that we have decided to work on is fire activities. So basically it's, and I'll tell you, I'll share the link, and it's a good practice again. Come to search NASA forms. Just search NASA forms. It's going to bring this option. All you have to do is come to Google and search NASA forms, NASA lands forms. Click on that. and this page opens up. I will just, in case you guys have any issues, I'll share it in the link.
Love, please share the link also, the
Yes,
chat
I'm
box.
sharing it in the chat for others to follow along.
Thank you.
Yeah. You can cross this. And what I'm going to do now is this page opens up. Okay. You can do some research in your free time. I won't get into the details of what this is, what this forms. But the full form is Fire Information for Resource Management System. Uh, this is the data is collected by NASA through its satellites, various satellites. And what I'll do is you come to active fire data and global. And before we get along, some people might say, but why are we using this data and why not some other data? So the thing is, there are high chances that after this class, you probably would never use this data. If you do, great. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. But what I want the class to get used to is basically the various data formats that QGIS renders. Okay. And for that, what we are going to do is, that's why I selected this, because it has a lot of data formats, this kind of data, the fire activities. So you see shapefiles. Now you know what shapefiles is, but we are not going to use shapefiles. We are going to use a different data format, which is not Google Earth, KML, text files or CSV. This is the one. How many people have heard about CSV? I think this is something that a lot of people have heard about as used to this CSV format. So let's see.
Almost everyone has.
Yeah, everyone has heard about CSV. Yeah. And by the way, if QGIS only understands CSV as text file, okay, it doesn't understand an Excel extension. If you're thinking that, oh, I'm going to use an Excel extension, which is normally XLSX, if I'm not wrong. So QGIS doesn't understand that, but QGIS does understand a CSV. Okay, and for that, what we are going to do is, here's the world. You come to text files, here's the world. And here you have different types of, satellites that NASA uses. The one that we are going to focus on is the VERS 375 SNPP. This is the most powerful one. And the most powerful one in the sense that it goes back to, I think, 2012. So these ones that you see, NOAA 20, NOAA 21, these are the newer ones, but you won't find data going back to 2012. Okay. So that's why we use the VERS 375 SNP, because it goes back all the way to 2012. So you have a lot of data stored there. That's why you're going to use that. And the one that we're going to focus is on world. Okay. And 48 hours. 48 hours. This is the one that we are going to focus on. So just go ahead and click on 48 hours. Let's see. It's a 14 MB file. So let it download. It's taking some time from my system.
So Pula, what happens if I have an Excel file and I want to use that in
So
QGIS?
QGIS won't understand that.
Okay. So can I convert that into
A CSV. So you have to convert it into a CSV. Yeah.
and then bring that into the system?
Yeah. Okay. So now it has been downloaded. And I'll just unzip it just in case it's not unzipped. Okay, so you don't have to unzip it. It's just the file itself. Great. So you come to QGIS now. And remember, last time we just dragged and dropped it. So let's see what happens. Let me just see the name of the file once more. Swarmy 48 hours, global 48 hours 2. Okay. So this is where it is stored. I'll just hit the refresh button in case. And I'll go down all the way to Swarmy. Swarmy was, this is 7. I think, was it this one? Okay. A lot of files, my system. Sorry for that. You can just ignore it. Yeah, so this one. Yeah. So let's just see what happens if we drag and drop it. And see, nothing happens. That's because in CSV's case, or when you're working with text files, you have to specifically tell QGIS, listen, This is a CSV file that we are looking into. So QGIS automatically detects a shape file because when we dragged it, it just automatically displayed the data, right? But a CSV doesn't work like that. I just wanted to show you what happens if you're thinking like I can just drag and drop it. So that's why I wanted to show you, that's why I wanted to make you work, get you used to a text file format, which is a CSV. Okay, so in order to bring the CSV file, and I'll just delete this, is if you come to manage layers toolbar, you have this vector layer, add raster layer, add mesh layer. You can ignore this. And this is the fourth option, add delimited text layer. This is the one that we are looking for. Click on that. It'll have a colon sign, a comma, I think a colon sign. Click on that and this thing opens. Here's the file name. Click on this, browse as it shows, browse. Here's the Swami verse, open. And it automatically detects its point coordinates. It automatically detects X field longitude, Y field latitude. Okay. And before moving ahead, I'm going to show you a couple of things because a lot of people have issues with rendering CSV file form data format. If you have this DMS coordinates unchecked, if you have it checked, please uncheck it. You don't need it. Okay. And then the geometry CRS, if you're using it for the first time, high chances that it won't show this. So this is basically a projection, and I'll get to projection in the next slide, what a projection means. But for the time being, if it shows invalid projection, if that's what it says, geometry CRS as invalid projection, all you have to do is come here and you have to go to project CRS or default CRS. These two options, either of the options. I'll say go for default CRS, which is the EPSG 4326 WGS 84. And I'll tell you what projections are, but for the time being, you can just like follow along. So yeah, so keep the DMS coordinates unchecked. Your X field, if it doesn't automatically detect what's an X field and what's a Y field, so your Y field has to be a latitude. As you can see here, I think I'll just show you. Yeah, here's the latitude. That is the latitude column is going to be a Y field. The longitude column is going to be a X field. Okay. So now once all this is done, all you have to go ahead and there are other options. So you don't have to do anything. Don't fidget with anything. So the file format, it automatically detects it's a CSV format. Record and field options it'll automatically detect. So you don't have to do anything. Keep everything as default. All you have to do now is just go ahead and add. And let's see what happens. And you see all these circles. Before we go ahead, any questions? Any questions? Anyone had
There was a question on the ESPG format, Pulaha.
Sorry.
Somebody, Brijesh Gupta was asking about
Yeah, so,
ESPG 4326.
Yeah, so sir, I'll tell you what is an EPSG 4326. We'll take it up in the next class. It's basically EPSG 4326 is a projection. And I'll tell you what is a projection. A projection is the way you see the world. Because right now we are seeing a flat earth. Okay, but there are different ways of seeing the world. It can be a globe. So that's an orthographic projection like that. So just for the time being, you can just ignore it. I'll walk you through what is a projection. So Sujata, once again, show opening of CSV data in QGIS. Great. As a layman, what does it mean? Swaran Makar. As a layman, so a projection is basically how you see the world. So right now we are used to the flat earth. This is the default projection, a flat earth, but the earth is not like that. It's not supposed to be flat. It's supposed to be a globe. And a globe projection is also called an orthographic projection. So there are different kinds of projections through which you can see the world. 4326 is one of them, and it's the most default one. So yeah, and I'll show you how you can also use and render the CSV data. So I'll just delete it before we go ahead, and I'll show you. So ma'am, just come here, add delimited text layer. I hope you have this manage layers toolbar on. If you have the manage layers toolbar, so just come here. This is the one. add delimited text layer, click on that. Here's the file name, and here you come to browse. Here it is, open, and it'll automatically detect the X field, Y field. In case it doesn't, your Y field would be latitude, your X field would be longitude. Keep the DMS coordinates unchecked. We don't need that. And the geometry CRS is basically going to be a default CRS. In case it shows, invalid projection, if it says invalid projection, so just switch to default CRS CPSG 4326. A lot of times it shows invalid projection because it's the first time you're using QGIS. So that's the reason. And then you just go ahead and add. So I think hopefully everyone was able to follow how they can render the text file, the CSV file.
Actually downloaded it, but not able to, add in this layer.
Yeah, so you have to come to this one, add delimited text layer.
Where? Okay. That colon ones.
Yeah, the colon one, the fourth from the top.
Just
Just give it a try. It's absolutely fine. Just give it a try.
okay, yeah. Then
Okay, so come to file name.
yeah.
Here you have the browse. Okay.
Yes.
Just select this. Okay. This is the file name. Where just navigate to wherever you have stored it. Okay, and it will automatically detect. Sorry. It will automatically detect the X field and the Y field. In case it doesn't, the Y field is going to be your latitude, your X field is going to be your longitude. Okay. And you'll see the sample data here. So like in my case, it's blank because I've already added the data.
So in my case, it's though I've downloaded it, but it turns out to be blank after unzipping it.
So I think you have downloaded 24 hours. Can you please download the 48 hours one? I think they haven't.
Yes, I
updated
have
that.
downloaded it, the 24 hours one.
Yeah, so just go ahead and download the 48 hours one.
Yeah, there
Okay.
were two, three options. Go for 48 hours.
Yeah, go for 48 hours.
Okay.
So NASA hasn't updated for today. So just download the 48 hours option.
Okay.
I have a question, but why we are choosing this VIIRS 375 SNPP? Why not anything else?
Yeah, so very good question. So these are basically the different lenses. Do you understand what's a lens in a satellite? A lens is basically just like you're using, like I have spectacles and I have a lens. Okay. So NASA also has a lot of lenses that they use in their satellite. So why VERS 375 SNPP and why not VERS 375 NOAA 20? For a simple reason that the VERS SNPP goes all the way back to 2012. Okay. So if you're using VERS 375 NOAA 20, high chances are, I don't know the exact date, but high chances are that the project started at 2020 itself. So if you're looking for data which goes back all the way to 2012, you won't be able to use the VERS 375 NOAA 20. Okay.
Okay, understood. And why we are specifically taking the 48 hours? Why not days or 24 hours?
So that's what totally depends on you. We went for 48 hours. You can also go for seven days, but 24 hours they haven't updated it yet. So I don't think that'll be very helpful. So that's why either 48 hours or 7 days. So that's totally up to you whether you want to use 7 days. It's a very good practice, in fact. Like you don't have to follow just 48. If you want to go ahead and just download 7 days, please go ahead. Be my guest. Please go ahead. So that's totally fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, why not MODIS? MODIS 1 kilometer for a simple reason. Like if you see, it's a 1 kilometer. Okay, and this is 375. So the data in MODIS.
The same thing is happening with 48 hours also. It is turning out to be blank.
Is it text file CSV?
Yeah, it is like I'll tell you. It's VIRS C2 Global 48-hour folder. I have unzipped it also. Still, it's blank.
So
yeah, it's text files, TXT, CSV,
text file
.wt.
CSV. Yeah. So just see if it's so. Did you download 24 hours by mistake? Because it's a
No. This is 48 hours, 100% sure.
So this is 14.6 MB. It
The-
cannot
The data
be.
should be there. It's 14 MB, the data should be there.
The data should be exactly. So
Yeah.
this is not a system problem. Like, I mean, this is this is NASA's own data. So
Okay.
just check once more. Just try if it's 7 days. So anyway, we'll just follow along for the time being. In case you have any issues, I'll take it up.
Is there any full form for VIRS and SNPP, or this is just the name?
I think it's. I'll just have a so SNPP is I think Suomi. I'll just check. I'll just check and get back to you on this. Okay, or you can just like do your own. Just have a simple Google search and they'll tell you. Okay. So anyway, before we go ahead, can anyone tell me what they are seeing? Like what is their observation? And this is, by the way, is fire activities. So what they are doing is, if you zoom in, every point here is where they have detected a fire pixel. Okay, and from fire pixel they have turned it into
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Can you please share the link for this 48 hours data?
I didn't get you, sir. Can you just come again once?
Can you please share me the link for downloading the 48 hours data?
Yeah, I'll just share it.
Thanks.
Okay, Afsal Ansari says I drag and dropped the browser to layer automatic to display green dot on map. Great. So Afsal, did you just do this and it started showing? Anyway, I'll just look into it, but it normally doesn't, because it normally doesn't, like with text files, you actually have to explicitly tell QGIS to explicitly tell QGIS that it's a text file, so render it accordingly. Anyway, can anyone just jump in and tell the class like what is his observation of the data? Like, where do you see more fire activities happening?
I see it more in Tamil Nadu, is that it? And Sri Lanka.
Okay.
If you
Like
zoom in.
globally, where is it happening the most?
Okay, global.
Southern Africa.
Southern.
Africa, yeah. Also, I see a lot of them happening in
US.
North America.
I think this area, Southeast Asia. And I also see a lot of it is happening in the polar region. Like this is almost the North Pole, right? A lot of fire activity is happening in Russia as well, if I'm not wrong.
Latin America.
Latin America, yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to beautify it, and this is where the fun part starts. If you're into styling and designing and all that, cartography. How many people are into cartography or like the idea of cartography? Okay, Nitisha raised. So Nitisha is going to like this part. This is where the fun part is. Okay. So just one person who's into cartography. Everyone else is just wants to hardcore data thing. Anyway, like QGIS gives a lot of options to a lot of people. If they're into hardcore data, it's fine. If they're into, the fun stuff like, cartography and all that, that's also great. I'm specifically more inclined towards cartography. I'm a designer myself. So anyway, so the way you beautify, what I mean by beautify is right now it's looking too coarse, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this and I'm going to right click, select this layer, the fire activities layer, right click, properties. Okay. Symbology, and there are different options. You come to symbology, simple marker. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to decrease the size to maybe 0.5. A fill color would be, I think, red because we're talking about fire, so some appropriate color accordingly. And no stroke. And for that, in order to give no stroke, all you have to do is click on this and turn this slider from this way, from this end to this end. Okay. See the opacity changes if you move the slider. That's it. Okay. And again, if you want to change the color, you can play it along here. If you have a hex code, you can give the hex code number as well for a particular color shade if you want. So you can play along like this. You can move it like this, like this. I'm good with this. Okay. And I'm going to click on apply. And that's looking much better. And one last thing I'm going to do before we move along is again, click on this admin layer, right click, properties, symbology, and I don't want any fill. Okay, I want the stroke color, this just the boundary line, but I don't want the fill. And I'm going to turn the slider. Apply. It'll take some time. Yeah. And now you see it's transparent and it just looks better. Like visually, it looks more better. And you can actually make out where the hotspots are. So any questions before we move ahead?
Better if you can repeat it again.
Which one, sir? This
last one, last section.
The how to make the boundary transparent.
Yes, the color coding, changing the color.
So come to property. So if this is your if this is the layer, the political the country boundaries layer, the any 10M admin, right click, properties, symbology, and symbology is where you'll do all the styling, basically all the styling. So come to symbology, click on simple fill. Here's the fill color. If you want to make it transparent, so your opacity will be at default 100%. So just move the slider all the way to 0%. Click on OK. Stroke color is fine. If you want to change the stroke width, please go ahead. And the way you change it is just like this, like this. 2.6 is fine with me. And then click on apply. Apply. OK. And OK. Okay. Any more questions before we?
The color that we had initially on the map is not being removed. Like that red or something that we had previously in the entire map.
You can't make it transparent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if in order to make it transparent, come to properties, symbology, simple fill. Here you have the fill color. Click on that and just move the slider. Okay. Just move the slider like this. Okay. So we'll move ahead. And now we are talking in terms of like a lot of could be's. Like we know like South of Africa, not South Africa, South of Africa is a hotspot. We know the Latin America, South America is a hotspot. We know America, a lot of it is happening in the Florida region. The Florida region. Then there's a lot of things, a lot of fire activities happening in Russia, also in Southeast Asia. But here's the power. Here's how QGIS is so powerful. It actually allows us to quantify stuff. And by the way, the full form of QGIS is quantum GIS, as the name suggests, quantum GIS. So you can quantify stuff. Okay, you can quantify your research. We can actually say which country has reported the highest number of fire activities in the last 48 hours, because that is the most logical question, right? If you're looking at this data, well, the most logical question would be like which country or which continent is reporting the most fire activities. That is the most logical question that's coming to my mind. And this is how you can quantify things in QGIS. We won't talk in terms of like vague things like South of Africa is reporting a hotspot that we can see. But we want to be 100% sure like which country is reporting the most number of fire activities right now in the last 48 hours. And in order to do that is you come to vector and you come to analysis tool. Here's the vector, okay? Project, edit, view, layers, settings, plugins, and then vector. Okay, so before we go ahead, Brijesh sir has a question. Please go ahead, sir. Is it reporting or observed? It's actually observed, and from observed we can say how many fire activities have been reported. You're right in that way, observed. But in terms of layman term, we can say, can we get country name on the map? Yeah, the labeling and all we can. That's part of the styling. We'll do that when we're exporting the map itself. But to answer Rakesh, sir, yeah, it's actually observed because the satellite data is observed. And then we can say like in layman's term, if you're writing a research, if you're writing a news story, we say normally which country has reported the most number of fire activities. So you are right in that way that it's observed, but reporting is also fine in this case. If that answers the question. So yeah, so now we'll go ahead and actually quantify this thing. And the way we do it is come to vector, analysis, count points in a polygon. Okay. Polygons. So now you have this option. They'll give you the option. And this is when a lot of people find it confusing to select which layer for which one. So as the name polygon suggests, polygon is basically a shape with multiple. So like a triangle has 3 sides. A polygon has multiple sides, basically. Okay. So that's what it means by a polygon, and a country has a lot of sides, right? So that's what it means, a polygon. So a polygon in this case would be the country layer, and the points layer in this case would be the fires layers, because that's the point data. Because it's in dot as in points. So that's why your fire data is going to be points. Your polygon is going to be your country layer. I hope I'm able to explain this. Everything else remains the same. You don't have to do anything else. So just go ahead and click on run. It'll give some warning. You can ignore that. I'll do some processing. So let's just wait for that as well. Let it process.
In the meantime, I have a question.
Yeah.
Somehow I am not able to change the colors the way you were showing us. And on my system, the interface is a little different. So,
Can you share a screenshot like how the interface looks?
okay. Right now this thing is running. So once it's done, so I'll share the
Yeah,
screenshot.
sure. Or you can just like after the class, it's a very small thing.
Okay.
Not an issue. So you can just mail it to me. I'll look
Okay.
at it. I'll just let you know. Yeah.
Fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
I am not. Can you just repeat how to add this particular part?
Yeah, so let it just process
Can
because
you just verbally tell? I'll do it. So we have to go to
you have to go to vector. Here, vector.
the one just above that. The one
Yeah,
we
you
were.
have to go to vector, as you can see in the option, vector. And then
The
analysis.
second one. The second one.
No, so it's if you come here, wait. So if you come here, you have these options, right?
Hmm.
And you come to vector. Okay.
Okay.
Vector analysis tool,
Hmm.
and then count points in a polygon.
Okay.
Your polygon is going to be your country layer and your points is going to be your fire data. Okay.
Vector analysis tool and then count polygons.
No.
Okay. Then run.
Yeah, then run. And it's going,
Wrong or missing parameter value of polygons.
yeah. So you have to accordingly set those parameters. You can see my parameters for the time being. And also, is everyone getting an error now? It's called invalid features filtering as feature 158 from any 10
Yes.
MH.
That's
Yeah.
getting that error,
Everyone,
correct.
yeah, so everyone's got an error. Great. So why I wanted to show you is this is a very, very common error that you're going to come across when you're doing any type of quantification, or there's another thing called clipping. I won't get into that. What is a clipping? You can search it yourself.
I will interrupt here. I'm sorry. But in my case, there is no such error and that thing is 100% complete.
Okay. Okay, I'll look into it. But if a lot of us, I'm sure, will get this error. And this is a very, very common error. If you see, like, if the error says invalid geometry, okay. So what happens is, if you try to edit it, in this case, we have downloaded this India point of view, right? So normally this will have a lot of boundaries. So high chances that what happens is, if I uncheck this, this is the actual map. So what happens is when you're tweaking or trying to edit the shapefile itself, so it creates a lot of invalid geometries. And that's why we get this error. Okay, and it's a very common error that you're going to find across, like, whatever shapefile you are using, whether it be India, whether it be global. Global, normally we use the natural earth. This is an error that we come across a lot. Okay, so I'll show you how do you fix this error. Okay, so just have some patience. You don't have to just follow along for the time being. It's absolutely fine if you don't get it at the first go, because it involves couple of steps and you need to get used to the QGIS. But since this is a recorded session, it's absolutely fine. You can just, like, after once the session ends, we're going to send you the recorded session and you can try it out yourself. If you don't get at the first go, it's absolutely fine. When I was starting out, I also did not understand anything about it. So it's absolutely fine. But what I can tell you is, the more you practice, the more you'll get better at this. So it's absolutely fine if you don't get it at the first go. How to fix invalid geometries. That's the name of the error. And the way you fix it is, by the way, ma'am, did it also create a file called count? Ma'am,
Yes, there is a
yes.
file called
And
count.
if you see, if I uncheck this, if you see the the Egypt and Sahel region is missing,
Let me just try.
and Australia is missing.
Yes.
Yes. So that's what, like, it still has an error. I don't know why it did not show any error. But if you have have these countries missing, that means there is some issue with the shapefile itself. Okay. So we're going to fix the shapefile. And the first thing I'm going to do is, I'll just delete this count file that we created. And I'll bring this. And the first thing I'm going to do is, okay, just follow along. It's absolutely fine if you don't get it at the first go, because it requires couple of steps, but you will get used to it. Don't worry. If you are into QGIS, you will get used to it. Come to processing. So you have all these options: vector, raster, database, web, mesh. Come to processing. Toolbox. Okay. In the toolbox, in the search, what we are going to do is type check validity. Check validity. Okay. Click on check validity. And the input name is going to be the one that we are trying to fix, which is the country layers. We're not trying to fix the points, the fire data. We are trying to fix the country boundaries layer, because that is the one that's having the issue. So any 10M zero countries, check on that and click run. and it's going to create 3 files, error, invalid output, ignore it. Now you come to fix. Now again, in the search in processing toolbar, if it's open, in case you don't know how to come to it, how to open this, again, just come to processing toolbox, then search for, then type fix geometries. Fix geometries, okay? And here in the input, I'll again go for any 10M admin 0 countries, not invalid, not error output, none of these layers, only the original country layer, country boundaries layer, the original country boundaries layer, which is the any 10M, okay?
So it doesn't show anything. First of all, I'm not able to run. It was
Just
stuck
follow
there.
along, just follow, it's absolutely
But
fine.
for this, when we are saying it, like, when we are coming to fixed geometry, so
Yeah.
there is that star sign that comes up, fixed geometry.
Yeah, so you have to type the full thing, fix geometries.
Ah,
You have to type the full thing,
fix.
geometries.
There are a lot of
So
options.
then vector geometry is coming.
No,
Under
so yeah,
that,
so vector geometry, you need the fixed geometry.
so it is not coming. Fixed geometries is or not coming.
Okay, let me just have a, okay, I'll have a look at it myself.
No,
In the
it's
meantime, just
not
follow
coming.
that. Okay.
Vector geometry is coming. Fixed geometry, for fixed geometry, only this star symbol is coming, nothing else.
Now I'll have to see. Is anyone else having this issue as well?
Initially, it was not, it was showing a long list of options, but if you rightly writing it, like geometries, then it is
Fixed geometry.
coming
No,
up
no,
properly.
I am
Just create,
rightly writing it.
Please
just
share your screenshot in that case. We'll sort this
The
out
one-
later.
just
Yeah,
share
in
the
that
screenshot after the class and I'll see it myself. Okay?
I cannot share it right away. What I can
Yeah,
mail
yeah,
it to
yeah.
you
So
because
after the class, after the class.
okay.
Yeah. So fixed geometries, any 10M admin, run. And now it creates a fixed geometry file. Okay, as you can see, fixed geometries. This is the one. And what I'll do is I'll just delete all of them, valid, invalid, error. I'll just delete all of them so that there's no confusion. And now we have 3 layers. And I'll uncheck this, any 10M admin, and I'll just keep this fixed geometries and then bring it below the fire thing so you can see. And now what I'll do is now I'll come back to vector analysis tool, count points in a polygon. Points is going to be the fire data. Now the polygon is going to be not the any 10M, it's going to be the fixed one, fixed geometry. That is the one that we fixed, the shapefile. Okay. And now if we click on run, now let's see. So just give it some time. Maybe it's a 14 MB file, so it'll take some time for QGIS to figure out. So in the meantime, while it does the processing, anyone has any questions about this? A lot of us. So is the reason related to error in that was downloaded for layer? In parameters, what file was kept? Okay, so in parameters, as you can see, I'll show you the parameter. In the polygon, you will have the fixed geometries. That's the default name. And then the points, we have the Suomi verse. Okay, that's the point layer. And the polygon is your fixed geometries. Why did we run, Saurav has a question, why did we run check validity before running fixed geometry? Very good question, Saurav. So the first thing is we need to figure out if the file is valid or not, if there is any issue with the file, even though the error says there is some issue, but we still need to be 100% sure if the file is valid or not. So that's why we run this check validity, where before we actually fix it, QGIS is able to figure out if there is any, if the file is valid or if there is any error. And once they figure out, once they're able to identify the errors, then we run the fixed geometries where QGIS actually fixes the problem. Okay.
So, Kunal, I have a question. Like
Yeah.
in this group, all of us got the errors, but one
Yeah.
of the person did not get the error. In that case, should we still go for fixing geometry, or should we just move ahead?
So she did get the error because I had so I had asked her like if the file that was created, was it showing Australia or not, and she
Okay.
said the Australia was missing. So
So
actually
as a best
everyone got
practice,
the error. It's
as a best practice, we should go for valid this step that you
yeah,
are suggesting.
yeah.
Ola, my when I was fixing this geometry, the entire map is gone. Like entire data is gone.
So I have to
I don't know.
I know
Instead,
it's
I was
absolutely
not
fine.
getting that toolbox, and the entire data that was created so far, it's just
Farhan has
vanished.
the same problem. Farhan also had the same
So we have all
problem.
had this. We have all had this issue with QGIS, and we need to get really used
My
to.
God, nothing is coming now. My screen has got like blank.
But that's a good thing because that way you'll be able to practice more.
So
So, I
don't
mean,
worry.
one advice that I'll give everyone is like if they're thinking, how can I remember so many steps? Of course, you won't be able to remember so many steps. It's humanly not possible for anyone. But what I can tell you is the more you're going to use QGIS, it will become an involuntary reflex. Okay. So, the best example is if you're going to encounter this problem of invalid geometry, the moment you do invalid geometry, the more you practice, you know that first you're going to do is check validity, then you are going to do is fix geometries. When I was starting out, I had to actually look up and actually have to see, okay, which step first, and then it took me like 2 3 times before it became an involuntary reflex on my part. So the more you practice, and not just QGIS, you do it for anything in life. The more you practice, the more you get better. That's the only way you can do this. So Anand is saying I did nothing, I did not get the error and nothing is missing. I'll have a look at it. But I think most of us got this error. And by the way, I think this time, see, so this is a warning that you can ignore. That's true. It's just a warning. Doesn't have any say in the final results. Now we have an output. So let's see. And it creates a file called count, but it doesn't show anything. Count doesn't show anything except if you see now, and this is how you can see the data itself in a vector file because count is a vector file. Right click, open attribute table. Okay, open attribute table. Indonesia. See, if you see the first name, I think is going to be Indonesia. Now this has already the pre-installed data in it, the shapefile data. It's that this data is from the original shapefile itself. And now if you scroll down, see num points. Num points is as 16721. This is the one that we are looking for.
So
So
that's the number to the fire activities in Indonesia, right?
yeah, number of fire activities or fire spots that were detected by NASA in the last 48 hours. And this is what you can do. You can actually get into the specifics of it. Okay. And the one last thing I'm going to show you is now you want the whole data at one place.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you can do is come to count, right click, export, save feature as, and I don't want it as anything else. I just want it as a simple CSV so that we can look at the data. Comma separated. I'll save it in downloads itself. Downloads 48 hours fire activities. Save. And one last thing is I'm going to deselect all of them. I'm going to deselect because I don't need so many columns. I just need the name of the country, which I think is here. If I'm not wrong, it'll be name. And I need the num points. I'll scroll down, num points. I don't need so many columns. It'll only going to clutter the whole thing. And I'll click on OK. That's it. And I'll come here. Even though it creates a file here, but we won't be able to see the CSV at one place. I'll come to downloads, 48 hours. I'll open it in Excel. Indonesia, Malaysia. So we have all of them together. And one simple filter that I'm going to give is filter, descending, sort. So Russia, by the way, has the most number of fire activities, has reported the most number of fire activities in the past 48 hours. So this is the kind of specific that I was talking about. We initially thought that, okay, Southern Africa shows a lot of, fire activities. If I just uncheck this, Southern Africa shows a lot of fire activities, but it's actually Russia. Country-wise, if you see, not region-wise, just country-wise, if you see, it's actually Russia which has reported the most number of fire activities. So this is what you can do with QGIS. You can quantify stuff. You can actually get into the specifics when telling a story. Any questions?
In my case, if I'm going to this count and feature table,
Okay.
again, the interface is pretty much different and I am not able to see the num points. Countries list is there and other features are there, but I'm not able to see.
So if you come to count,
Yeah.
attribute table,
Yes.
okay, and then if you scroll down, ma'am, so like if this is Indonesia, if this is selected, I'm just looking for Indonesia. If you scroll down, there'll be a column called num points. And if num points is not there, then there must have been some issue with, how you did the count polygon thing, count points in a polygon. So just
But the point is that when I'm opening the attribute table, this particular interface is not coming on my system.
Oh,
Of
okay.
course, the list is
So
same.
all you have to do, yeah. So okay, I get it. So all you have to do is just select. So if is it showing like this?
Yes, it is showing like this.
So if it's showing like this, then all you have to do is just scroll here, and here is the num point. And if you want this kind of format, so you have to switch to form view. Okay, so here are the two buttons. If you can see, at the very down, you have like two buttons here. Okay, view buttons like at the very fag end of the dialog box. If the open attribute table,
Yeah.
so you'll see switch to form view. Can you see?
One sec.
Yeah.
In the bottom, in the right side.
Right side. Yeah, right side.
Yeah, got it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Excuse me, can you show the exporting once again?
Yeah, sure. So all you have to do now is, and you have to export the count. Okay, you don't have to export this or this fixed geometries on. You only have to export the count. And in order to export count, all you have to do is right click, export, save feature as, give the file name. So what you do is right click on this. Sorry, not right click. Sorry, click on the browse, name it whatever you want, then save, and then you'll come back to this, deselect all of them. So here's the deselect button, and why I'll tell you, because you don't need so many columns. Okay, all you need is the name of the country and its corresponding number, like how many fire points were detected in the country in the past 48 hours. Okay, so deselect, scroll down, and then this name column will appear. Okay, check this name column, scroll down, excuse me, scroll down, and the last column would be the num points. Check on that, and then you click OK. Okay, got it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, any more questions? Yeah, so Arman, I just showed it. Anything else? So for the time being, if you couldn't follow, it's absolutely fine. Yeah.
This we are saying for the whole world, right?
Yeah.
If for any specific country, how it will be done?
So if you see, like if you want the number for the country, then you can just, like, if I see the CSV file here, so it'll show the number for any country. Okay. Now what I understand is you're asking for the states of, say, like India, right? So you have to use a state map of India. Okay.
Okay. Okay. No,
That,
let's suppose you are seeing the South African countries.
yeah.
It's only South Africa, it will show only for South Africa, not for all.
Okay, okay. So that I'll show you. All you have to do is, so you have the world map. Okay. So firstly you only need the map for South Africa. First, you need the map for South Africa, a shapefile for South Africa, which you can just do. You can get it from Google, Google search. Just do a simple Google search, and it'll give you the shapefile just for South Africa. And then you have this fire data. All you have to do is vector. Come here to vector, geometry tools. No, sorry. I think it's 1 minute. Yeah. So vector, geoprocessing tools, and clip. Clip is the one where you can just like clip the data only to South Africa. Okay. And your input layer is going to be this NE10M. Just play along, just see like which layer is what. Overlay, I think, is going to be your, I think
The country
polygon.
data.
Yeah, the country data.
Okay.
Input layer is going to be, I think, your fire data, and the year is going to be off. So just
Bo-
play along, just see.
Okay.
That's a very good practice to also figure it out yourself, which layer works how. Okay, at max, what will happen is it'll just give you an error. That's all that's going to happen. So you just go back, and then just the more mistakes you come up with, the better it is like for you to get a hold of QGIS. And that goes for any software for that matter. So any more questions? I think that will be all for the class for the time being, for our first live session.
And just one more question. You talked about the save file, right?
Yeah.
Is it free for
Yeah, it's free.
similar like
Everything
faculty
here that we are teaching is for free.
save files also?
Save files also.
Like state boundary
Yeah,
save file, district
yeah.
boundary save files. These are free.
Yeah, it's all for free.
I just have one question. You know, in your version, you have a third horizontal toolbar, the last one with that green search icon on the left.
Manage layers, right?
Sorry?
The manage layers, this
No,
one?
not manage layers. The horizontal toolbars, you see the third one. Yeah, the third one is with this green.
So basically what this is if we just right click on this will have all the options. So just try checking all of them, and
Okay, okay. I think it's a quick QSM one, the one with the green search icon. The third.
yeah, this is quick.
Okay,
Quick
okay.
version.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
So Brijesh, sir, yeah, please go ahead. I'll have to see it myself, sir. Like, I'll have to see the NASA documentation, like how it works, the minimum fire size. I'll have to see that. But I think so. They have this one grid system. Okay. So if anything, they detect as and they have their algorithm. So I think a grid would be a 1 by 1 kilometer. Oh, so this one is, I think, 375 by 375. Yeah. So 375 by 375 square box or a grid. So if anything, if that algorithm detects fire there, so it'll come. So it's like that. If that answers your question. And a grid is basically a square. Okay. And that's where the raster thing comes in. I'll show you what the raster data is. So yeah. Is that answers your question, sir?
So, Pula, actually, since now we are almost winding up this class, I want to know, since in few cases, like when I was doing that fixed geometry, the entire data was, everything that was there on my screen was lost. So how to bring it back?
I'll say a very good way is just to get it back going again. That's the best way to learn QGIS. And also you don't save all the files, okay? Because a lot of files
I mean,
are very
on my
different.
on my layer part, it does shows every like SOMI VIRS is there and countries shapefile is there.
Just zoom
Uh,
in or zoom out. I think what has happened is I think you have just zoomed out like this. So just try to zoom
no,
in.
no, no, no.
So just try to a default EPSG 4326 if it's here. Just try the default EPSG 432. What is the projection right now that it's showing?
EPSG 4326.
So just try to okay, just do one thing. Go to fixed geometries and just say, zoom to layers. Just go for this option. Right click and say zoom to layers.
Wait, so in processing, correct?
No, not processing. Just come to the fixed geometries layer. Right click and zoom to layers.
I'm not getting fixed geometries. Now that's what I was mentioning you.
So
It's
then
not
try a
come.
different layer. Just try a different layer. Does it show now?
No.
Well, I have to see, like I have to see it myself. If you can send me a screenshot, I'll have to see it myself.
Okay.
So anyway, this is all recorded, so absolutely fine. So Dipali has a question as another QMD file. Yeah, just keep it, or you can also delete it, not an issue. Yeah. So I'll just
I have one question.
end the class here. Yeah.
Is the interface of the entire software is different for the browsers? Is it something for Chrome and something for Firefox or something for something else? Is it like that?
I don't think as a QGIS the interface is pretty much the same for whether it be Windows or Mac. I don't know about the Chrome because QGIS doesn't work
Okay.
with web browsers. It's a standalone software in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But somehow I feel that whatever you are showing, the interface on my one is a little different. So probably that's why I'm confused or
It's totally fine. You'll just get used to the interface. It's
okay.
a big problem. What's more important, you understand the logic of why we are
Yeah.
what we are doing.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming to the first live session. Hopefully, you had good time. I'll see you in the next one.
So thank you, everyone. See you on
Thank you.
25th August, same time. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
22nd,
Thank
right?
you. 25th August.
Thank you,
25th.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.